Let's talk about Obia, the forgotten power, the feared force, the cousin of voodoo.
A lot of y'all are going to be waking up and starting to practice pre-colonial traditions over the next couple of years, probably centuries or so. And what I need the younger generation who is getting aware of this to understand is the difference between gatekeeping and safety protocols. There are a faction of people who want to gatekeep these traditions because it gives them power, it gives them a sense of personality, it's a part of who they are, and they don't want just any and anybody practicing that. To those people, I say, these customs and traditions are older than you are. You can't keep who it's meant for from practicing it. Now, there is going to be a faction of elders who are going to come in and caution you. Because as powerful as these traditions and practices are, there are protocols, there are rules of engagement, and there are things you need to know in order to safely engage with these spirits. Some of these things are older than time itself. And like any good parent, they don't have a problem giving you a little quick skibbity pat to let you know don't do that shit again. Because they don't want you to get hurt or burned fucking around with something that you don't fully understand. So as you wake up to these practices, do not think yourself wiser than the elders who came before you. Do not think yourself beyond reproach. And do not think just because you saw some video on TikTok that said such and such and such that you have all the answers. Trust that the same forces that allowed you to come across this information are going to also provide you with good mentors if you show yourself seeking out this information. Be humble. Be willing to learn. Realize that some of these practices, again, are old as fuck. So some of them are going to have the remnants of some ways that are no longer around. To know how to see past that in order to get what you need out of it. But the same way you wouldn't hand a gun to a toddler is the same way you need to be careful when engaging with these practices. Because if not, you can fuck yourself up and the people around you up. So when you have people cautioning, hey now, there's a nuance to this. Don't automatically assume they're saying, oh, we don't want you doing any of this shit. Because that's not the case at all. Me, myself, I came to the practice of Isheshe, which is a traditional practice out of Nigeria, thinking that this was all about money, fame, and fortune, and I'd be able to drive a Hummer and rolling like a bad bitch out through Atlanta. Thinking I was finna be like, yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot, because I was misinformed. And I faced serious consequences behind not being fully informed. But fortunately, because I was humble. Fortunately, because my ancestors fight for me. Fortunately, because the Orisha that work with me fight for me, I was able to come and find out what I needed to know. This ain't gatekeeping, baby. This is a proceed with caution. As you should with anything older than you. Toodles.